Welcome to today's Explainer. We're jumping right into what is, honestly, the ultimate underdog story in modern sports today. We're talking about Jalen Brunson. For decades, the New York Knicks, basketball's most iconic franchise, had been desperately searching for a savior, someone to bring the soul back to Madison Square Garden. But the guy who actually pulled it off, he wasn't supposed to be the one. He wasn't some blockbuster, headline-grabbing top draft pick. We're talking about a guy who has literally been doubted at every single stage of his career, only to meticulously dismantle those doubts every single time he stepped on the floor.
Okay, let's get right into this, starting with his raw physical limitations. Listen to how Brunson himself puts it. In an era where players are mostly evaluated by their vertical leap and explosive highlights, he openly admits he doesn't check those boxes. But the absolutely crucial part is that second sentence. I think my mind is my biggest asset. This right here, this establishes the core theme of his entire career. What we're exploring today is fundamentally a story about mental resilience and high basketball IQ triumphing over sheer physical expectations. 33. Just think about that for a second. That is the number of the draft pick used to select him in the NBA. 32 other players were chosen before him. We are talking about a player who would go on to shatter franchise records, yet he was completely passed over in the first round. So you gotta wonder, how does a talent like this slip through the cracks? And where did his relentless drive actually come from?
Part 1. A born winner. Well, to truly understand the star, we have to look at his roots. From the moment he could walk, he was holding a basketball. But more importantly, he was watching his dad, Rick Brunson, push his own body to the absolute limits, running drills until he was exhausted. His father instilled this incredibly tough, no-nonsense mentality in him, constantly challenging Jalen. And that grilling preparation, it paid off instantly. His high school dominance was undeniable. We're talking averaging over 23 points a game, winning Illinois Mr. Basketball, securing a state championship, and even earning MVP at the FIBA U19 World Championship. But here's the kicker. He didn't do it by blowing past defenders with sheer speed. Instead, he relied on a highly mature understanding of pace, really precise angles, and elite body control. He was built for the moment early on, outsmarting taller defenders rather than just trying to outjump them.
Part 2. The college champion.
So after dominating high school, you'd think every top-tier program would be begging to hand him the keys to their offense, right? Well, because he didn't pass that traditional eye test for elite athleticism, there was actually quite a bit of skepticism. He landed at Villanova under Jay Wright, which honestly was a system tailor-made for his incredible basketball intelligence. Yet, that underdog motif continued. Just listen to the sentiment echoing through the scouting world at the time. He'll be a good college player, but he can't dominate. People really thought his lack of explosive athleticism would finally catch up to him against higher-level collegiate competition. They assumed his high school success was his absolute ceiling. Yeah, well, he completely shattered those doubts. He didn't just fit into Villanova's system. By his junior year, he literally was the system. He became the National College Player of the Year in 2018. He was a two-time national champion. He led his team through the tournament with these masterful performances, like dropping 27 points against Virginia. Oh, and behind the scenes, this is crazy. He was actually sacrificing lucrative summer sneaker camps just to ensure he graduated in 3 years. He was unequivocally the best guard in college basketball.
Part 3. The second-round snub.
Okay, so picture this. You have a two-time national champion, a national player of the year, a guy with a historically great resume who literally knows how to win everywhere he goes. You'd think his draft evaluation would be the easiest in the world, right? No way. Welcome to the 2018 NBA draft, where there was a massive disconnect between the scouts and reality. The league was totally obsessed with explosiveness, highlight reel plays, and size, completely overlooking the fact that Brunson's game was built entirely on elite craftsmanship, pace, angles, and incredibly high IQ. They drafted for potential fireworks and basically ignored the guy with a literal PhD in winning basketball games. So what does he do? He simply puts his head down and climbs. From a trusted freshman starter in 2015 to being drafted 33rd overall by Dallas in 2018. In Dallas, he wasn't rushed at all. He played next to Luka Doncic, acting as a super reliable secondary contributor, just carving out his role and patiently biding his time. Then, in the 2022 Western Conference Finals, he breaks out as a legitimate star. He evolves step by step, proving he belonged, which perfectly set the stage for his eventual crowning as the Eastern Conference Finals MVP in 2026.
Part 4. Changing the culture.
Fast forward to the summer of 2022. Having proved he was far more than just a nice second-round success story, Brunson arrives in New York City. The Knicks sign him to a 4-year, $104 million deal. And get this, critics at the time actually called it an overpay.
But the Knicks front office invested in a leader capable of bringing order to a historically chaotic franchise, and the impact was immediate. In his very first season, he unlocks the team's potential, securing 47 wins. He systematically dismantles the Cleveland Cavaliers in the playoffs, securing the Knicks' first playoff series win in a decade. But beyond the sheer numbers, he brought this incredible, calming presence. He was a master connector in the locker room. He'd slow the game down when it was chaotic and speed it up when they desperately needed a spark. He literally gave a starved city its winning identity back.
And this ability to control the game naturally led to his absolute dominance in tight situations. Let's talk about the clutch gene. When asked if he was just born with it, Brunson, who would go on to be named the 2025 NBA Clutch Player of the Year, said no. He firmly believes it's something he had to learn and master by progressively getting better at each successive stage of his life, dating all the way back to high school. It's not magic, guys. It's meticulous preparation meeting opportunity. Recognizing that they had a generational leader on their hands, the Knicks front office went straight to work. Entering the 2025 season, they basically built a fortress around him. They paired him with his former Villanova teammates, Mikal Bridges and Josh Hart, and traded for star big man Karl Anthony Towns. They locked in an identity of toughness and a complete refusal to quit, crafting a roster that perfectly resonated with the heartbeat of New York City itself.
Part 5. Returning to the Finals. Entering the 2026 season, Brunson only had one goal on his mind: winning. He had done it in high school, he had done it in college, and now his sights were firmly set on hanging a championship banner in the rafters of Madison Square Garden. And his milestones for the season are just staggering. He led the Knicks to an NBA Cup victory, dropping 25 points and 8 assists in the final, earning Cup MVP. Now, while it wasn't the ultimate championship, it gave the city a highly symbolic, much-needed taste of actual success. He followed that up by averaging 26 points a game, leading the Knicks to 53 regular season wins and securing his third straight All-NBA second-team selection. He was the undisputed centerpiece on basketball's biggest stage. When the lights were brightest in the Eastern Conference Finals, his surgical dismantling of Cleveland's defense was just masterful. In Game 1, he drops a massive 38 points to win it in overtime. In Game 2, when the defense naturally adjusts, he happily takes a backseat scoring-wise with 19 points, but dishes out an incredible 14 assists. Then, in Game 3 on the road, he bounces back with another 30-point clinic. It was a complete dismantling that led to a commanding series sweep.
But through all this incredible success, leading the Knicks to the NBA Finals for the first time since 1999 and earning Conference Finals MVP, his attitude never shifted. When asked about his unbelievable run, he immediately defers to his teammates. He says, "They give me the confidence. Most importantly, we all believe in each other." It's that exact humility, combined with an absolute killer instinct on the court, that transformed him from a second-round afterthought into the true captain of the Knicks.
Which leaves us with this final thought. We've seen the numbers. We've tracked his journey all the way from high school to the NBA Finals. This is a player who was told repeatedly that he wasn't fast enough, tall enough, or explosive enough. Yet he used his incredible mind and unyielding work ethic to script the greatest underdog story in modern sports. So I'll leave you with this. When the lights shine the absolute brightest at the mecca of basketball, looking at everything he's overcome, who else would you possibly want at the helm? Thanks for joining me on this explainer. I really hope you walk away with a totally new perspective on what it takes to truly build a winning culture.